everybody, it's Mama Dee and we're back, Mama Dee's Middle Age Mayhem, and today we are discussing nutrition in middle age, which is super important. Nutrition is important obviously in every age group, but in middle age there are a lot of factors that affect our nutrition, and in concert with that, different things that are going on in our bodies. Even if we do eat as much, as good as we can, there's some things in our bodies that are changing as we get older that we need to discuss. So as you age, and if you're not eating healthy, you're going to get nutrient deficiencies that are going to decrease your quality of life and end up causing you a decline in your health. And there are things that you can do to prevent this. So that's kind of what we're going to discuss today, because what we do in this middle age time is going to affect us as we get older and into the quote-unquote elderly stage. So how aging affects your nutritional needs. As your body changes and gets older, again, you have decreased muscle tone, you have thinner skin, you have less stomach acid, and those are all important, and I'm going to go over why. You may not think stomach acid is a good thing, but it actually is. And thinner skin is not good. Even if somebody's making fun of you and you got thin skin, that's what they're talking about. Thin skin in reality is not a good thing. Some of these changes can make you prone to, like we said before, nutrient deficiencies. And while others can affect your senses and your quality of life, there was a study that estimated that 20% of the elderly have atrophic gastritis, which causes chronic inflammation that damages the cells that produce stomach acid, and in turn, some stomach acid functions are decreased. And if you didn't know, stomach acid helps absorb nutrients. So it also helps break down food and can cause us to have low B12 levels, low calcium, low iron, and low magnesium. A reduced need for calories is another challenge for aging. As we age, we don't need as many calories, and as we age, our appetite changes as well. And if we're not feeling good and we don't feel like eating, we need to be eating a variety of whole foods and taking supplements to supplement for these deficiencies. And a reduction in the body's ability to recognize vital senses like hunger and thirst are often another reason why we don't get the nutrients. And then exercise. We always are saying exercise is important. It's important for middle age and for seniors. We should be stretching, doing exercises, range of motion, things that get our muscles working and help us stay healthy. And muscles are important for more than just moving your arms and legs. Let's see here. Our daily calorie intake depends on what should be our daily calorie intake depends on our height, our weight, our muscle mass, and our level of activity. Most older adults need fewer calories to maintain their weight, since they do not get as much exercise as they used to when they were younger, which will cause you to lose some muscle what's the word I'm trying to use? Muscle mass, okay. And if you continue to eat the same number of calories per day as you did when you were younger, you could easily gain weight, which is not a good thing to have, be overweight at any age, but especially in middle age and as you get into your elderly years. This is definitely true for postmenopausal women because of the decline in estrogen levels. It's even harder to get that that weight off. And even though you eat fewer calories, you may not have the metabolism high enough that you can burn the fat off, and compared to when you were younger. Older people need to eat a variety of whole foods, fruits, vegetables, fish, and lean meats. These give them the nutrients without expanding their waistline. And that could be in any age group. We know we need to eat fruits, vegetables, lean meats and fish. These give us the nutrients without expanding our waistline, which we said earlier. And the nutrients that become extremely important are protein, B12, calcium, and vitamin D. It's common to lose muscle mass and strength as you age. And the average adult loses 3 to 8% of their muscle mass by the time after the age of 30. So the loss of muscle mass and strength is known as sarcopenia. And it can be a major cause of weakness, bone fractures, and poor health in the elderly. So what we need to be doing now, you may not, when you hear the word elderly, you're thinking, I'm not elderly, I'm only 55. You need to be doing these things now and learning about this stuff now so that when you are elderly, you've done a better job of preparing your body for that age group. Eating more protein can improve muscles and bone health, and a study of about 2,066 people over a 3-year period found that the most who ate the most protein daily lost 40% less muscle mass than the people who ate the least. Combining a protein-rich diet with resistance exercises is most effective to fight sarcopenia. You may benefit from more fiber as well. Constipation is a huge problem with the elderly, and it may be with our group too. So before you get elderly and you're fixated on your pooping every day, which they are, I can guarantee you from 30 years of being in the ER, elderly people are fixated on having that bowel movement every day. And if they don't, there's something wrong. People over 65 are 2 to 3 times more constipation is a problem in people over 65 and 2 to 3 times more common in women. Thanks. One reason, as we get older, we tend to move less, and we take many medications that have constipation as a side effect. So eating foods that are high in fiber or taking a fiber supplement will help you to have regular bowel movements. A high fiber diet may also prevent diverticulitis disease. So if you're not sure what diverticulitis is, or diverticulosis, they're little pockets of little pouches that form in your colon, and they can become inflamed and infected. And it's this very painful disease, and it could be really serious if it gets infected in your intestines. Diverticulitis or diverticular diseases. Our disease is often viewed as a disease of the Western diet because in populations like Japan, Africa, for example, they eat a high fiber diet, and there's only 0.2% of their population that has diverticulitis kind of issues. And then calcium, that's huge. As we get older, and we know with women, with going through menopause, calcium and vitamin D are 2 of the most important nutrients for bone health. Calcium helps build and maintain healthy bones, while vitamin D helps the body absorb calcium. Older people absorb less calcium in their diets. And then human and animal studies have found that the gut tends to absorb less calcium as we age. So that's a little bit of a double trouble there. The reduction in calcium absorption is likely caused by a vitamin D deficiency, since aging can make the body less efficient at producing it. Your body can make vitamin D from your body makes vitamin D from the cholesterol in your skin, and when it is exposed to sunlight. So aging may make the skin thinner, which reduces its ability to make vitamin D. Those changes prevent you from getting enough calcium and vitamin D, and this promotes bone loss and increasing risk of fractures. So you've all heard of, osteoporosis, and it can get bad. My mom had it so bad that I gave her a hug one time and I broke her rib. I mean, her bones were just like eggshells. So you need to consume vitamin D and calcium through foods and supplements. Foods with calcium are dairy products and green leafy vegetables, and fish, obviously, and the 2 best ones are salmon and herring. B12 is a water-soluble vitamin known as cobalamin, which is essential for making red blood cells and maintaining healthy brain function. 10 to 30% of people over the age of 50 have a reduced ability to absorb vitamin B from their diet. And vitamin B12 is found in protein, is bound to protein, in the foods we eat. And before your body can use it, the stomach has stomach acid. See, here's where we get in with stomach acid. Must help it separate from the food. Okay, so if you have issues with the lining of your stomach, and it's not producing that stomach acid, then in turn you're not going to be getting the nutrients you need, leading to less B12 absorption from food. Excuse me, good lordy. I'm allergic to myself. So that leads to less vitamin B absorption from food. Older people can benefit from taking a B12 supplement or eating foods that are fortified with vitamin B12. And other nutrients that may help as you age. You can benefit from certain nutrients as you age. Potassium, a higher potassium intake is associated with a lower risk of high blood pressure, kidney stones, osteoporosis, and heart disease, all of which are more common among the elderly. Omega-3 fatty acids, which I told you about the other day, these are the best. I've been using these for the last 6 years. They're from Advocare. I have the link to the website below, but these were on Dr. Oz's show and were rated as one of the top 2 omega-3 fatty acids. It's called Omegaplex, okay? Very good, and I take those twice a day, 2 twice a day, which can help you lower your heart disease risk and your high blood pressure and your triglycerides. Magnesium is also another important mineral that elderly people, or we can start taking before we get to that elderly stage. And we tend to be deficient in magnesium because of our poor intake, our medication use, and age-related changes in the gut, which we talked about. Iron is another deficiency that we can have, anemia, which for non-medical people, the hemoglobin in your blood carries the oxygen around your body. And if your hemoglobin is low and it decreases oxygen that's going to be sent around your body. So obviously that's bad. And obviously meat sources are the best sources of protein, but getting a supplement is always an option. And now here's a big one that's something I don't think any of us do, is drink enough water. Water makes up 60% of our body, and it's important to stay hydrated at any age. Your body constantly is losing water, mainly through sweat and urine and aging, making you prone to dehydration. Your body detects thirst through the receptors in the brain and throughout your body. As you age, these receptors may become more sensitive to water changes, making it harder to become less sensitive to water changes, making it harder to detect thirst. So you don't even know you're thirsty. Additionally, your kidneys help your body conserve water, but they tend to lose function as you age. So you got a couple different factors that are causing you to be dehydrated. Unfortunately, dehydration comes with harsh consequences for older people. Long-term dehydration can reduce the fluid in your cells, reducing your ability to absorb medication, worsening the medical conditions, and increasing fatigue. So we have a lot of different, things going on here that can affect us. And then another troubling concern for elderly people, or as you get older, is a decreased appetite. If this issue isn't addressed, it can lead to unintended weight loss and nutritional deficiencies. A loss of appetite is also linked to poor health and a higher risk of death. Factors that could cause older people to have a poor appetite include changes in hormones, changes in taste and smell, as well as changes in life circumstances. So say your husband dies, you've been married for 62 years or whatever, and you're depressed. You don't have an appetite, So studies have found that older people tend to have lower levels of hunger hormones and higher levels of fullness hormones. So that means that you'll get full faster when you haven't really eaten as much food. Elderly people also have a higher level of fullness hormones, and those are called cholecystokinin and leptin. Those are the two hunger hormones. Aging can also affect your sense of smell and taste, making food seem less appealing. Other factors that may cause poor appetite include tooth loss, loneliness, depression, underlying illness, and medications that can decrease your appetite. Otherwise, try to establish a habit of eating snacks like almonds, yogurt, boiled eggs, which provide lots of nutrients and a good source of protein. And bottom line, knowing all these things now means that we are going to be more prepared as we get into those elderly years. So we need to be making the most of what we can do now in the middle age range, so that we are not really suffering the consequences as we get older. So I showed you that Megaplex again, and I've got a link. I'll have a link on that down at the bottom. This is another supplement that I take from Advocare called BioTunes, and I'll read it to you here, but promotes healthy aging, encourages youthful responses to physical stress and challenges, and formulated with a unique nutrient blend that helps support cardiovascular, bone, and joint, and gastrointestinal systems. BioTunes. Get it. It's awesome. I was not a person to take supplements until I found Advocare. I lost 35 pounds on their, what they used to call the 24-day challenge, which is now a different name, but they have more products for weight loss. If you have any questions, you're free to put them down there at the bottom. Everything is on the website. All the products, they're in 4 categories under wellness, sports, and slim, which is your weight loss products, and active, which are your energy products. This is another nutritional dietary supplement that I take called MNS3, Metabolic Nutrition System. It is a strip pack of vitamins that you take before breakfast and then after breakfast, and they pretty much have every nutrient that you could ever want in these packets. And this is for the day, and you take them as they say on the back, and they have all the nutrients that you need for the whole day. And they also have amazing meal replacement shakes. If you're not hungry and you take a meal replacement shake, drink it. It has 24 grams of carbs, 24 grams of carbohydrates, and 24 grams of protein. So it's a 1-to-1 protein to carb ratio. It helps keep your blood sugar stable, but yet you're getting the nutrients that you need. So all these things are on my website, and like I said, it'll be a link down at the bottom. But start taking supplements now before you get to the elderly stage, and get your body, working in the right direction so you can enjoy your later years. You don't want to be sick. You don't want to be unable to move or not being able to take care of yourself. And that's the most fear I think most of us have. The biggest fear is having to be, dependent on somebody. So if you can treat your body right in the earlier years, but now that you're getting in middle age, maybe you haven't, it's time to start. Because those elderly years are creeping up fast. And you need to really start thinking about what you're doing to your body now. So if you have any questions, please feel free to comment down at the bottom. Again, I'll leave the link to the website down there. Advocare supplements are some of the best you can get. And you could also get a discount by becoming a preferred customer. Takes, nothing to become a preferred customer. If you have any questions about that, I'd be happy to respond to those too. So hopefully I will see you on the next video. Take care. Bye.